Welcome, everyone. We're so glad that you're here. We're going to give just a couple minutes for everyone to jump in and join the webinar, but welcome, welcome. It's great to see so many friends here with us this evening.
Good evening, everyone. I want to add my welcome to Lawrence. We're so glad that you're choosing to spend a little time with us and some very, very special guests we have with us this evening. We can't wait to share all the great news that's happening at Hollins right now. So welcome.
While you're in and getting situated and familiarizing yourself with the Zoom, click on the chat button at the bottom of your screen and share with us your name and class year, maybe where you are calling in from on this crisp Thursday evening here in Roanoke, but welcome. Oh, good. Hey, Barbara. We were just with Barbara a couple weeks ago in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm so delighted that you're here this evening.
Barbara was on campus very recently as well. Hi, Barbara. It's good to see you there.
Hi, Jan. Welcome. I bet it is
Hey.
chilly in Chicago.
It's good to see you, Jan. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Snow! Ah!
Oh, there's our Leah and Noelle. There's an amazing IA team that makes these events possible. I'm so glad that they're all with us this evening as well. Oh, look. Oh, Abby's here. Reeves is here. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Julie. No snow in Raleigh.
I was out this afternoon taking care of some leaves, and we had about 8 minutes. I don't know if it happened on campus. I'm on the side of Reed Mountain that just poured snow.
Wow.
Mhm. Very wet, I don't know, it was gorgeous, but that was that.
Here's a Susie Mink. Hello, hello.
Hi, Melissa.
Oh, well, look, Melissa's coming. I think Melissa's going to win furthest participant
Yes.
in keto.
I was
Welcome.
on the environmental science trip to Ecuador, and I would love to go back to Quito. It is one of my favorite cities we visited.
That's awesome. Ella, you'll have to tell us more about that during our Q&A. I'd love to hear more
Oh,
about that.
definitely. They're going this year, this January will be only the third trip that they're going on. And there was room left, and I almost wanted to, but I have to do my thesis over J term.
It's a very responsible decision there,
I
Ella.
I would love to just like go back and spend all month in the mountains and the rainforest, but unfortunately the thesis does need to get done.
You'll have to tell us about that as well.
So, now in
So,
Georgetown.
is that Naomi who was on the Ecuador trip with you, Ella?
I believe she was on it the year before, so the first year that they went. I think that was Naomi.
Yes, Naomi.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Welcome, Missy. Hi, Olivia. So glad you all are here. Well, it is a few minutes after 7. Oh, Wythe is here. We're so
Yay.
glad. Coming up on a big reunion. I know several of our zeros and fives are on the Zoom this evening. So we're getting ready, was working on a few reunion details earlier today. Well, welcome everyone. We are so delighted to be here with you this evening. It has been an exciting fall semester on campus. Lots of great learning opportunities and a little bit of time for shenanigans as the seniors and juniors celebrated ring night. We had a fantastic Tinker Day and of course all the activities that we love on campus. Tonight, you are in for a real treat. We are bringing you 4 students here on the campus, all with different perspectives and, of course, different journeys and paths that they've taken, but really with an opportunity to give you a kind of peek behind the curtain as to what campus life is like in 2024 and hear about their experience. So I'm going to put myself on mute and turn the program over to President Hinton. Thanks so much for being with us tonight, to you and all of our students.
Well, thank you, Lauren, for arranging such a wonderful evening. I'm so excited to share time with our alums, as always. And when I see alums and students together, it really makes my heart sing. So I thought I would open with just a few comments to set the stage, to help you understand what's happening at Hollins writ large. And then we have a series of questions that our students are eager to respond to. So allow me to give just a quick update. And to be honest with you, this update is as much philosophical as it is tactical. And here's what I mean. As we approach this academic year, we made a decision to be very deliberate in how we lived as a community this year. So beginning with academic convocation, we started the year taking a moment to think through what we wanted and what we needed from one another in community this year. We knew that we could choose to reflect the world around us and give in to instability or fear or desperation, but we made a different decision at Hollins. Instead, we asked, what do we want to make of our lives? Or as Mary Oliver famously wrote, tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. That was the question I posed at convocation. And as we embarked upon this one wild and precious year, we chose to plan and live into a year that is filled with purpose and with joy. We agreed that a sense of purpose is what would equip us to do our very best work this year. We agreed that we needed our sense of purpose to sustain us as we completed theses, began our academic journey, planned to study away, or any sort of academic experiences before us. And we as an institution have lived into this notion of embracing our purpose this year. And here are just a few examples. One, we embraced new members. Altogether, we welcomed more than 200 first-year, transfer, and Horizon students in August of 2024. This was an amazing feat. As you've all heard, the financial aid debacle of last year really took a toll on higher education institutions. And yet, because of the amazing team and because of the community that Hollins is, we were able to bring in a wonderful class of students, one of whom you'll get to meet this evening. We also continued to work with wonderful faculty. We brought in a class of new faculty and launched our new faculty academy, which is thriving. And we're undertaking a program of academic renewal because that is our purpose. We began a robust program of civic engagement on campus because part of Hollins' purpose is for women to use their voices. And that engagement has already paid off. Hollins University has been recognized by the All-In Campus Democracy Challenge as a 2024 most engaged campus for college student voting. That's an incredible honor for us to receive, and I'm so excited about the ways our students approach civic engagement with generosity, with kindness, and with respect. And of course, in addition to embracing our purpose, we decided to embrace joy. Lauren has already mentioned Tinker Day and Ring Night, and there have been just many wonderful moments, including last night when the Alvin Ailey Dance School was on campus and did a wonderful performance. So when you take embracing our academic purpose and you combine it with joy, what you'll find on our campus right now is a closer, more engaged community, a community that's honoring the spirit of one another. And although we may all need a little nap because Thanksgiving break is a mere 24 hours away, I think what you will find and what you'll see tonight is a community that has embraced purpose and joy and is deliberate in the ways that we lead. So with that, instead of me telling you about what we're doing, how about you hear from a few of our students this evening? And let's start, we'll have our students introduce themselves. So students, if you could share your class year, your hometown, and your major, and we will go in order from seniors to first year. So Ella, Delilah, Georgia, and Sophia. And I am so excited to welcome our senior on the panel, Ella Wilds. Ella, tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name is Ella Wilds. I'm in the class of 2025 and I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm double majoring in environmental science and film.
Thank you, Ella. Ella, and you were abroad in Ecuador. Is that right?
Yes, this past January, yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Ella. Delilah, and
Hi,
Delilah
Mom.
also has someone with her who may or may not make an appearance.
He is asleep for now, but I do. I have an ESA who is absolutely lovely, but does tend to think that the world, including Zoom meetings, revolves around him. But I am Delilah. I am the class of 2026, so I'm a junior. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, and I am double majoring in elementary education and psychology.
Excellent. Welcome, Delilah. So if you see a cat go across Delilah's screen, his name is Cowboy, and he is well known across campus. Georgia, how are you, love?
I'm so great. So hi y'all. My name is Georgia Brennicky. I am class of 2027. I'm a communication studies and poli-sci double major, and I'm from Charlestown, West Virginia, so like an hour outside DC.
It's so good to see you, Georgia. Welcome. And last but most assuredly not least, Sophia, how are you?
Good. Hi everyone, I'm Sophia Yanes. I'm class of 2028 and I'm originally from Washington DC and I'm majoring in biology and minoring in public health.
Excellent. Sophia, don't turn off your microphone yet. I want everyone to just give a special shout out to Sophia in the chat because she's a first year student. And I know it's a really big deal when you make your first appearance with our alums. So a big shout out to Sophia. And Sophia, I thought I'd toss the first question to you. You okay with that? Okay. So Sophia, you're an Artemis Scholar. So if you could tell us what an Artemis Scholar is, what was your journey applying for the Artemis Scholar program and being accepted into the program, and why was it important for you to receive an Artemis Scholarship?
Of course. So, as an Artemis Scholar, my journey firstly began with just an interest of science. And I just had that desire to like break the barriers of not being really represented as and seeing people like me as a Latina and as a woman, seeing them in science field, and it was just very limited. So I really wanted to push that mission forward and support other women just like me. And applying for the scholarship wasn't really that hard. I was actually reached out to apply for it, but I did have to go through various interviews to really see if I was suited for the scholarship, and then I did get it. So that was like my little journey of getting the scholarship. But it was really important to me because not only was I first gen, but it was also like alleviating in like financially wise as well.
So you're a first gen STEM major, and our Artemis Scholars program is targeted towards women in STEM fields. So as Sophia said, bio and public health, if I remember correctly. And this program is full tuition, housing, and some tech support as well. And so Sophia is in the first class of Artemis Scholars. Our Artemis Scholar is funded by the National Science Foundation, so we're really excited. Did receiving the scholarship make a big difference in terms of whether or not you were able to attend Hollins, Sophia?
Um, yes, of course, but I also had the Hope Scholarship to lean back on if I wasn't accepted for the scholarship. So either way, I knew Hollins was going to be home for me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Sophia, and welcome. Um, I want to next introduce you to Georgia. So you met Georgia, but Georgia's going to get my next question. Now, you have to give some shout outs to Georgia in the chat because Georgia is always around our office smiling and bringing love. And so Georgia is so always has that beautiful smile on her face. So please give Georgia some love in the chat. And Georgia, I want you to talk a little bit about the Baton Leadership Institute. So tell our alums what leadership qualities you've gained from being a part of the Baton Leadership Institute. I think everyone would agree that the world needs more women in leadership roles. And how has BLI helped prepare you for what's next in the world? What have you learned and what have you enjoyed as part of BLI?
Yeah, of course. I mean, BOI has been a fantastic opportunity at Hollins. I'm already halfway done with my certification to like fulfill that requirement. I think definitely learning how to handle feedback and how to negotiate in the course has been very helpful. I was one of those people that kind of took everything personally for feedback, and the course helped a lot to kind of shift my perspective as like feedback's a gift to kind of like better improve my writing or my work or just like any sort of other life aspect. And the course really focuses heavily on how to negotiate for what you want, especially as a woman. So we learned skills of like how to negotiate in the workplace, or how to negotiate for like raises or internships, which have become very helpful for me in applying for internships and gaining those like interview skills and kind of like setting like the tone of like what I want and like who I am. So I love BOI. I recommend it to everybody. I serve on the student advisory board. I think it's just a fantastic opportunity for students to gain those skills in like a very accessible manner because it's not a like super high credited certification, but you gain so much from those classes that you take that it's just incomparable to anything. I love BOI.
That's great. Georgia, thank you for sharing that with us. You do amazing work. And I want to give a heads up to all of the students that I'm going to circle back around and ask you about some internships and study abroad that you've done. So just know that that's on its way. Delilah, you are so involved both on and off campus. And I want folks to give you a shout out because a couple of weeks ago, Delilah walked the president home. So sometimes I walk down to my office, and on this particular day, Delilah and Cowboy the cat walked me home. And we talked about the importance of embracing everyone and not paying attention to division in the world and really trying to reach out and be bridges in our community. And I was so inspired by that conversation with Delilah about the importance of being a bridge. So please give a big hello to Delilah. And Delilah, that spirit that you bring of building bridges, of being involved on and off campus is really quite poignant, I think. On campus, your work focuses on mentoring and coaching students. You're an RA, which means you get to go home last for Thanksgiving, and we appreciate your sacrifice with that. You're also a peer coach with our student success group. What motivates you to serve your colleagues, your fellow students in this way? What's your impression of what students need when you are being a bridge out in the world, when you're talking to others? Tell me what motivates that for you, and tell us a little bit about your co-curricular work as an RA and as a peer coach.
Thank you, President Hinton. It was a wonderful walk. Cowboy and I love going and looking at the horses. But that was the trifecta of like Mary Dana Hinton, the horses, and the sunset. It was pretty perfect. So for me, when I came to Hollins, I'm from Seattle. And so I was away from home. I did not know anybody in the state of Virginia, let alone Roanoke. And I had the most incredible RA. And she was quite literally from day one, like a beacon. And she was very patient with everything that happened and just gave me like the most helpful and relevant advice and was a wonderful friend. And she really inspired me to apply. And then she ended up being my supervisor, my lead RA last year, and just a lifelong friend. And so that kind of got me hooked into the program and kind of entered into this whole world of student coaching and student peers. But the biggest thing for me is sisterhood. And it sounds very cheesy, but all I talk about is sisterhood. And between like ring night and the programs that I do and just interactions with my residents, I really, really, really strive to build that family and that found family, especially for students who are from far away or college is a new environment and experience for them. And that being able to ease that transition and answer questions and kind of watch students grow from being really, really unsure of where they stand. And, like, I don't know who to hang out with. I am not sure how to make friends. And then, joining societies or specialty housing or things like that. Like, that is an incredible growth to watch. And I think that really is kind of the key thing when I think about the students of today is that we're very socially driven. And there's this kind of deep and really, really strong push to find community and to kind of build those bonds, right? Like we have a lot of wonderful specialty housing and students flock to that because not only is it gorgeous dorms, but it's also, you live with people that you care deeply about and you live with people who share academic goals with you or social goals with you, or you just come together and build your own community. And so I think there's a lot of that seeking bonds and kind of tightening in towards folks. But there's also the duality of like students today want to push out. And I mean that in the sense that like we want to go abroad, we want to go out of the classroom, not to say that we don't love our classrooms, but everything from doing labs in the pools and around here and to studying abroad. But students really want to work outside of the classroom and take those steps to put a foot in their career path or to just kind of grow and expand and meet new people. And I think that like duality is a really, really good example of students of today.
That's so beautifully said. I think that you're exactly right. We rely on what we call somewhat euphemistically the Hollins bubble to give us that space to be in community, to support one another, to be together. And I think we are so strengthened by that we do want to push outside. We do want to take on new challenges and try new things. And so that was really beautifully said. Which actually leads us quite nicely to our senior Ella, because Ella quite literally led us up a mountain this year. So I need all the Tinker Day love to go in the chat to Ella, because Ella is the chair of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, which means that Ella got to lead us on Tinker Day. And you also help elevate and support student athletes on campus. So I'd love to hear, Ella, a little bit about some of your recent initiatives, a little bit about your perspective on Tinker Day, and then help us understand, Ella, how you manage being a student athlete with a really strong academic focus as people keep dropping in that Tinker Day love. And Ella, I'm not going to tell anyone about the enormous pressure that was put on us all leading up to Tinker Day this year. It feels like it was a bit over the top. They came for us, didn't they, Ella?
They did. It was a little, it was a pretty stressful week, but it was really rewarding. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, like President Hinton said, I'm the athletic chair this year, which has been really rewarding and a really interesting experience so far. I'm part of a student government roundtable, and so I get to be kind of the voice of athletics to both the students at roundtable and other positions, as well as the president's cabinet during joint cabinet meetings. So this year we actually recently just finished a canned food drive. There's a competition between all of the teams. I think we collected over like 800 items of food to be donated to homeless shelters for Thanksgiving in the Roanoke area. So that was a really great service project that we did. I believe the track team won, not to brag. But with that, I've also been doing things to try to increase non-athletes participation within athletics. So there's been a new push for intramurals this year. There was a kickball league earlier in the fall. Currently, people are doing like pickup, like pickleball games, and I believe we just got a coach for the flag football program that'll be starting up in the spring. So that has been really big. It's kind of allowed more students that aren't necessarily like want to or were able to be official like collegiate athletes to participate and be involved more. And additionally, I have worked on events trying to engage students in official like school sanctioned sports. So hosting tailgates, we're going to be doing a lot more stuff during basketball season to try to encourage other students to support our athletes because we all work really hard and it is really important that we have the support of our community. And I think that a lot of people just don't realize, a lot of students on campus don't realize when games are happening or that they would even have fun. So that's been a big part of what we've been trying to do this year. And when it comes to you asked about like how I balance everything, and sometimes it feels like I'm not, but we have a really great athletic staff here that's very accommodating and very understanding. We also, I'm on the track team. I participate in all throwing events, and we have a new coach this year. We have a new head coach this year. She's also very young. She graduated, I believe, in 2019. So she knows how it is being a student athlete. She's done it recently. She's very accommodating with our schedules. She still expects a high amount of effort out of us and expects us to put work in, but she knows that and something that our athletic director, Chris, stresses at the beginning of every semester is you're a student first before you're an athlete. So they're very much committed to helping us succeed both in the classroom and in our respective sports. So it's been, I think, a good year for athletics. A lot of teams are just getting better and better as the years go on, especially since my time at Hollins. I've seen a lot of improvement for most of the teams here, which is really good. We love to see it and just see our athletic department growing. So it's been a great experience so far. You had a
That's
lot of
wonderful.
parts of the question, so if I didn't get to any, just let me know.
No worries, Ella. That was a great explanation. You're right. Our athletic program is really blossoming right now. We're in a really great moment as we watch our teams just get better and better. How do you navigate your day? So I often drive past the track when you all are practicing at 7 a.m. So you're up early, and often when I go home right around dark, I see you all still out there on the track. I assume that the day was broken up with classes, but how are you navigating that with your majors? You're working on a thesis. Maybe you could share a little bit about that. But how do you navigate athletics, SGA, which you're a big part of and you've been a part of for some time, and you give great counsel there, and being really engaged in the classroom?
Yeah, so basically our coaches mold our schedule around our class schedule. So like our event group, so sprinters, jumpers, distance, throwers, she will look at all of our schedules and schedule practice times for when it's best for all of us to be able to be together so we can not only have like that good like team support during practice, but also so we aren't stressed about having to miss practice or miss class or be running late and stuff like that. So it's been very good and very accommodating practice wise. So yeah, Mondays and Wednesdays we have morning practice at 7:30, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, we have it in the afternoon at 4:30, and then Fridays we have it at 11:30. So it's kind of our days don't look the same every day, so that's refreshing. It doesn't really get old. And yeah, my thesis, as you mentioned, so for environmental science, we don't have to do a thesis, but we do for film, and I'm creating a short film. So most of this semester has been writing a script, and um, now we're kind of in the pre-production phases of like making shot lists and getting equipment ready, finding actors, all of that. So basically just practicing being a producer, a director, a writer, all at the same time. And then at the end of the year, we have a premiere night where we all get to show our thesis films, documentaries, whatever we end up making. So it's
And that's one
been,
of my favorite nights.
yes, it's been a bit stressful at times, but so far it's been a really rewarding experience and I've enjoyed it.
Wonderful. I do want to brag about one other thing before I go to the next question. Ella, I think that the Student Athletic Advisory Council, maybe you're writing letters to an alum. Are you working on that yet? If not, that's on its way to you. We have a
I'm
wonderful alum. Go ahead.
Oh no, you could go ahead, finish.
We have a wonderful alum, some of you may know, Kitty Cox Kuhlman.
Mhm.
And Kitty will turn 100 years old in December. And Kitty's an amazing athlete. So I've asked athletics to maybe spend a little time sending her some letters. I'm not sure if it's made its way to you yet, Ella, or not.
Yes, I have heard about that. What team was she on? Was she on the
She's tennis. She's
tennis?
a
Okay,
big
yes, I
tennis
have heard
player.
about that.
Yeah.
SAC is actually about to meet right now. We meet every other Thursday at 7:30, so they might be doing that tonight, while I'm here. But yeah, that is, I mean, we love our alums. If it weren't for our alums, we would not have the amazing new track facility that we have right now. So, always love getting a chance to show appreciation to our alums that kind of set everything in motion for what we get to do now.
Thank you, Ella. Beautifully said. So Ella talked a little bit about academics. So Delilah, I'm going to ask you a quick question, and then Georgia and Sophia, I'll come to you after that. Delilah, tell us about the academic program. Tell us about your favorite professor, what's been your most rewarding class. You're an elementary education major. Tell us what that looks like, both in terms of the classroom, but what are some things you do outside of the classroom to help supplement your learning? Tell us about your academic experience.
Of course, yeah. So, one of the biggest and most exciting things during my time at Hollins is that when I came in 2022, our elementary education program was a licensure program. And so it was not a major, but it was a really wonderful way to get your license and to begin teaching. But in the time that I have been here, it is now going to be an actual major. So I will graduate with a degree in elementary education, which is incredibly exciting. Also with the licensure still. So it's a 2-in-1 program, which is about as good as you can ask for. And the really wonderful thing about that is that not only is Hollins itself liberal arts, but the elementary education program is so inherently interdisciplinary. So I have taken classes like microeconomics, which I'm not sure if my third graders in the future will thank me for or not, but I have taken it. We take classes in every discipline. Which is really wonderful because not only are you building that knowledge and getting to be a really confident student and teacher, but you also get to meet with so many professors that I would not have in any other way. Obviously quite biased. My favorite professor is my advisor, Professor Anna Barton-Bainham. She is absolutely incredible. She is the department chair of our elementary education program. Her Thank you, Julie. I just saw that. Maybe I'll need to reach out for you for some lessons because I'm not sure that my third graders would feel the same way unless I get some advice. So, but yeah, she is an incredible professor. Her background is in specifically reading development. And so the science of like, how do we teach children to read and phonics and all of that. And one of my most admired and favorite things about her and her classes is that, like I mentioned earlier about going outside of the classroom, we do so much outside of the classroom. And both with her individually and as the whole education department, we volunteer in the Roanoke Elementary Schools at Books and Breakfast, which is where we serve breakfast to local families. And then we hand out free books. And that is time that we connect with these students and we see them month after month. And that is actually the same school that we will all be doing our student teaching at. So beginning this year, our student teaching will be done in a cohort. So all of the Hollins girls will be going to the same school. We'll be working with separate teachers, but we will all be there as a community. And this is the same school that we've been working with for years. So we really, really, really are building those roots and connecting with families and bus drivers and teachers and security and everybody at the school. But I have had a really amazing time in the elementary education program. I have done research both here and I will be doing it in Seattle this J term. I have worked in the local Roanoke schools. I have also worked with Community School, who is one of our school partnerships. I started as an intern there through J term, and then I got hired as a teacher. And so I'm starting student teaching a year early, which is really incredibly exciting. I cannot speak highly enough of Professor Bainham. She is an incredible mentor, both in the academic sense and also in personal life. And the advice and the ear and the everything that she lends is so wonderful. And so I could talk genuinely forever about the education program. It's very near and dear to me. We had ring night this past month, and my big is my sister from Kappa Delta Pi, which is our Education Honor Society. And so like those connections really stay there forever, both in and out of the academic world.
That's great, Delilah. I want to shout out Professor Bainham as well and let folks who may not know that she has started a wonderful program for our region, giving newborns and their families picture books that they get to take home with them. It's an incredible gift, and it is focused not only making sure that babies and early childhood folks have books, but it also teaches the parents how to walk through the book so that the child can learn to read and take maximum advantage of the program. And she has done that project for a number of years now. And I wholeheartedly agree, Delilah. She is incredible. Yeah.
Adding on to that is the program that I will be bringing to the West Coast this J term. So we are in the middle of meetings with the regional directors of the whole West Coast hospitalist team. So we are working on bringing it to their NICU. So I will be spending this J term at the kind of the base hospital on the West Coast and working with their NICU and their family and midwife clinics and bringing those books, which are written by the author of Goodnight Moon. So that's very, very, very near and dear to Hollins' heart. So I will be bringing those books with me and bringing that program to the West Coast. And the goal is that this will be the next step in a really major expansion of it, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I share your excitement. That is wonderful. Congratulations on your internship for J-term, Delilah. So I hope our alums see we've got the academic thing going. We are all over that. But I often get the question, do our students have fun? So for that, I'm going to turn to Georgia and ask, Georgia, tell us a little bit about how you and your friends have fun on campus. And I'm sure it's always appropriate amounts of fun, Georgia. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a fantastic time on campus. Pretty much always on campus unless I'm at Target or Starbucks, which is either groceries or studying. So it's probably related to Hollins in some way of why I'm there. Some of my favorite things to do on campus with my friends, I have a friend group that I hike Carvin's Cove with pretty frequently. We have a lot of fun doing that. And we have a lot of movie nights too. I had them in the common rooms my freshman year, and now I have my like computer set up here in my single room. And so my friends come over pretty frequently for movie nights, and we make dinner together in the kitchen and then watch a movie, which is always really fun. That's one of my favorite things to do on campus, just because we're all kind of doing our own things, but in the same space with each other. So we'll be eating like some weird meal, which is whatever we had in our fridges. So like couple days ago, my cousin and I had like spaghetti and croissants. Don't know how those two went together, but it was really good. And watched a movie and kind of did our own separate homework while we were together. And I have a lot of fun studying on the porches as well with my friends. If the weather permits, so it hasn't frequently, kind of recently, because it's been crazy cold at Hollins, but I am out on the porch pretty much from like when my classes end to normally like 1 a.m, either hanging out with my friends or studying or like watching TV out there, just because it's fun to people watch everybody at Hollins, and it's a big community. So when I'm out there, I always have people come up and I kind of like people filter through the porch and sit next to me and we have conversations and hang out. So those are definitely my favorite things to do. Obviously, I spend a lot of time in academic buildings, primarily Pleasance. All 5 of my classes are in there this semester, so that's my home away from Maine. I spend a lot of time in there, so my friends and I end up hanging out in there between classes as well, or in Moody grabbing some food, and there's nothing better than eating a bunch of ice cream for breakfast and talking with your friends in Moody, so. Yeah.
That feels like the perfect way to start a day, Georgia. So you just happen to mention 5 classes very quickly, just so we get a sense. What are your 5 classes this semester?
See if I can remember. I am taking Creating the American Nation, which is a history class, American Government, which is a poli-sci class, Introduction to Business, and then Pop Culture Communications and International Tourism. So that's like under International Studies.
I just love the array of what you're studying. That's awesome. Now, Sophia, you're up next on my list, and this is one you've only been here for, what is this now, 9 weeks. So tell us a little bit, Sophia, what are you looking forward to most next semester? So you've got your feet under you, you made it through Tinker Day, we can find most of the buildings on campus. What are you excited about for second semester?
I'm really excited about the classes I registered for, especially human physiology, because I'm very human biology type of person, and that's what I want to do for my career. So I'm like really excited to put my feet in that water and I'm just really excited for it. And I'm also really excited to apply for internships and look what internships that I can receive for next J term. So that's what I'm really excited about. And also seeing my opportunities to study abroad.
That's fantastic. Sophia, you said you're interested in biology as part of your career plan. What is it you'd like to do with a Hollins degree?
So I'm planning on getting a Bachelor of Science degree and then going to PA school to be a pediatric PA. So that's my plan. Mhm.
That's wonderful. So just a quick shout out to all the folks on. If you are in the pediatrics world or you know someone, there's someone here who's interested in that. And so I just want to put that shout out there, and maybe we can help Sophia find an internship that would be really meaningful to her. Ella, tell us a little bit about how Hollins is helping to prepare you for life post-graduation. Now, I want to confess to the alums that you've gotten this question a lot this year. I'm sure every other person is asking you, what are you going to do when you graduate? So tell us a little bit about how you feel Hollins has prepared you for life after graduation.
I think this will just help me warm up for all my relatives at Thanksgiving asking me this. But one of the reasons I chose Hollins was because it was the only small liberal arts school that I applied to, and I realized that I wouldn't be able to double major in both a STEM field and an art field. And so that has been I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to do that. It's made for some very interesting semesterly schedules, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel like my education here in both departments has been top notch. I mean, the professors that we have are experts in their field. Having someone like Renee Goddard as my advisor, who's been here 30 years and has done countless research and helped so many students, has been amazing. She's the best. I can't say enough good things about her. But I do feel like the STEM faculty that I have taken classes from and learned from for the past 3.5 years have been really great about not only educating us on the subject of the classes, but also showing us how we can use that knowledge and experience and apply it to jobs and whatever else we want to do. They do a really good job of bringing in alums that they've taught and are now in fields. We've had people that work for land conservancies and work for the Virginia Department of Wildlife and Fisheries come in and talk to us about stuff like that, and how they also applied what they learned at Hollins into getting careers. And so that's been really helpful. Right now, my plan is to do a 1-year master's program at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, where I'm from, and get a master's of forestry to go into that industry. But I also am still considering the possibility of having a career in film. I'm kind of just hoping for whatever comes my way, to be honest, whatever pays the bills. But I feel lucky to have the opportunity to have both experiences and both opportunities. The faculty on the film side is amazing as well. We have my advisor for my film major, Amy Gerberstroh, she worked in Hollywood for years. If anyone's seen The Craft, she worked on that. Big 90s cult classic. And Professor Lee, who is fairly new, but he is amazing. On the study side, has been published in so many publications I can't even, like New York Times, Washington Post. Like, he's a great film critic. So being able to learn from really, really experienced faculty has been so valuable, and I really feel prepared, and like and even if there are things that I'm not prepared for, I feel like I have a good like groundwork to be able to like meet that challenge and overcome it. So I don't know what the future holds, but I know that with everything that I've learned, with the connections that these professors and Hollins have given me, and with recommendation letters from them in my back pocket, I will definitely be able to succeed in whatever I end up deciding to do.
You said so many things that I want to pick up on right there, Ella. First, you talked about the fact that Hollins was the only place among the schools you applied to where you could major in a STEM field and an art. That's so important for folks to understand, that Hollins doesn't force you to make a choice between your creative side and your scientific or analytic side. And in fact, we really try to reinforce that so that students can have broad opportunity when they attend Hollins. And it's the same thing with studying abroad or doing undergraduate research. You're not limited. We want you to lean into all of those facets of yourself. And so I think that's such an important point that you've made, Ella. The other point that I just want to put out there on your behalf, and students hear me say this all the time, one of the great value added components of a Hollins education is the alum network. So if you are related to or you're engaged in conservation work or forestry or film, give Ella a shout out, because she's about to make her way into the marketplace. And I know I would highly recommend Ella. I have always been so impressed by Ella and all of our students. But Ella, I encouraged you before we went live to make sure that you leverage the alum network, because it really is a wonderful, wonderful addition to your Hollins education. It makes all the difference in the world. So
Definitely. And I was able to meet a lot of alums in the film industry when I had an internship in New York with the Film Network. So would love to meet even more and more alums, and I really appreciate it.
absolutely. I'm going to ask maybe one or two more questions. One question that I have is just about the sort of environment we're trying to cultivate at Hollins. So someone asked me recently, what makes Hollins unique? And I said that I think what makes Hollins unique is this rigorous academic experience combined with a community that's built on love. And everyone on this call has heard me talk about love a little bit, but I thought it would be interesting to hear from our students. What does love look like? Like, how does the Hollins mission manifest itself in your life in ways that are loving and compassionate and empowering? And so I'm going to ask Sophia as our newest member. So we'll do Sophia, Georgia, Delilah, Ella. Sophia, how have you found the Hollins mission supporting you on campus?
Well, first off, it's just so comforting. It's like they truly care about you, and it's not like they don't see you as like, oh, just a student. They see you as like an individual, and they truly like try to get to know you and take the time out of their day, and it truly feels like they care about you so much.
That's lovely. You're doing such a great job, Sophia. I'm so glad you're with us. The class of 2028 is well represented. Thank you, Sophia. Georgia, what does love at Hollins look like to you? How do you feel the community's radical love?
I think like Hollins is such a school of like love, culture, like making support. Like they're like most schools maybe have like one or two support nets to like catch you as like you're falling or like struggling, but Hollins has like 60. So like no matter if you're like struggling in classes, there's places you can reach out to for that, like struggling just like personally, socially, there's so many people to go to. And I think like the kind of person that Hollins attracts is someone that loves the support and also like gives it to other people. Like I'm so incredibly grateful for the friends that I have made at Hollins because everybody is so supportive like to each other. If I'm having a rough day and my friends know it, I get a text of like, come up to 2B, we're going to have a movie night and sit here and eat cupcakes and deal with it, and then we're gonna get back out there tomorrow. Or like I have faculty where if like it's obvious that I'm having like an off day, or if I'm like super busy and they're noticing it, I get an email immediately in my inbox being like, hey, I just wanted to check in. How are we doing? How's like academics going? Are you going home for Thanksgiving? Like what are you most excited about? Things like that. And so I think there's just so much support that comes out of the love that Hollins provides, that you're never really alone as much as you may feel it entering college or throughout college. Like there's going to be someone in your corner no matter what, no matter if that's a student or faculty or anything at Hollins. And that's one of the reasons I came here, is it's just such a community that I love.
Thank you, Georgia. Delilah, how do you feel the love at Hollins?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is that Hollins is not conditional love and it's not just verbal, right? Like Georgia said, there are so many words of support and so much, like verbal care, but Hollins is also, will put action behind words and does that unconditionally. This past summer, like I had a rough home situation and was not able to go home for the summer. It was not feasible or safe. And immediately Hollins from multiple departments, HRL and even Lauren, found me housing and a job. And I spent the summer here, and I had family and faculty that were there the whole time, no matter what happened. And that kind of love and, being seen as like, you're still a person and you're a young person, but still being valued as part of the community is, it's hard to express just how much that meant and just how much was done to come together, and it means a lot.
Thank you, Delilah. Ella, tell us what it means to you.
Um, I think I see it the most when I talk to and hear from my friends that are at really large universities, and just being able to realize, hey, like I can walk into a dean's office and have a conversation about something that I need to fix or that I need to figure out, and it's not intimidating, and it's they know your name. Like I love being able to have a relationship with the president of the university, where she knows everybody's name and keeps up with our lives, and um just the fact that I it's such a small school and it's so specific that you know that everyone that's here wants to be here. It's not like I mean, like I hear stories about like really bad professors at like these big research universities that my friends go to, and they're only teaching because it's a condition of them getting to do research. And it's never like that here, because every professor that's here and teaching, they want to be here because they want to be teaching, they want to be interacting with students. And that goes the same for uh every area of faculty, admin, and even staff. They just love being here, they love the community, and they really want to be here and value what we do here.
Lovely. I'm so glad that that language resonates with you all, because it is so important when we're doing the work of the liberal arts. Being in community and connection and engaged with each other, it just makes it easier to open your mind and your heart to new knowledge and new perspectives. And so that's really important. All right, I promised one question and then I will wrap it up, Lauren. I'm not going to keep us past 8 o'clock, I swear. I wanted just folks to get a sense of what happens in the co-curriculum. So what are some of the experiential learning opportunities that you have? So I'm going to start again, I think this time with Sophia, because Sophia, since you're new, you haven't had a lot of opportunities to do experiential learning. And when I say experiential learning, I mean study abroad, undergraduate research, or an internship. But Sophia, tell us what you're looking forward to. You mentioned study away earlier, but what are some opportunities you're looking forward to for experiential learning?
Yeah. So since I'm an Artemis scholar, I don't for this J term I'm going to take a research J term class, and I'm going to do research in the summer as an undergrad research. And I'm like really excited. I'm gonna see what I want to like research and like in what field. Again, it'd probably be like something clinical. So that's like really exciting. I'm also really excited about applying for the Ireland study
Oh,
because it's like really one that tones in for like science majors, so that would be really fun. And for internships, I've been looking at pediatric clinics around the country, and hopefully this spring I can apply to a few.
wow. So you've got the trifecta there. You're already focused on your Ireland study away. You've got your undergraduate research that will start in J term, and you're looking at internships with pediatric groups. So fantastic. That's wonderful, Sophia. Georgia, tell us about your experiential learning opportunities. There's that smile.
I've had some amazing opportunities through Hollins for experimental learning. In J term for this past year, so my freshman year, I interned in the Office of Admissions. I mainly did like outreach for them and all those like little goodie bags like students got in their mailboxes I put together, which was really fun because like I loved getting those when I was applying. So making those for the future next generation was really fun. And I got that through Hollins. I was actually the only first year who had an internship last year for J term. And then over this past summer, I got myself an internship to work in local government. But I reached out to the Career Center when I got that to work with their like zoning and law, all that kind of stuff, the community development stuff in City Hall. I reached out to the Career Center and they were very supportive in helping me figure out if I would be able to register for that for credit or how to like help it with my Hollins experience. And then I just finished up all my applying for internships for this upcoming J term, and I got accepted to both that I applied for. I got the White House Historical Association and the Diplomatic and consular offices retired, but I chose the White House Historical Association, so I will be working there in January, which I'm very excited about. That's like recent news, so I'm overjoyed. I'm still like buzzing about that. Um,
As you should be. That's fantastic.
yeah,
Congratulations.
so very excited about that. And I'm also currently working with the study abroad office on my application to go to London the spring semester of my junior year, primarily to focus on my political science degree and kind of focus on learning different aspects of government and different like formations of government in another country. So.
Wow, congratulations, Georgia. That's wonderful news. Delilah, tell us what you do with experiential learning.
I have been really lucky to do a lot at Hollins. So my freshman year, I worked with our child psychology lab, and I actually got to present research at the Virginia Academy of Clinical Psychologists conference, and we won Best Undergrad Research. So Hollins has incredible research programs in every facet of psychology and science. And then my sophomore year, I did an internship with our community partner community school, which not only was amazing for J term, but then led to a multi-year career with them, which is really, really exciting. And then, like I mentioned before, this upcoming J term, I will be working to bring our Turn the Page and literacy program on a national level through hospitals, and working with managing partners and directors of local hospitals and more national scale. So I'm very excited for it all.
Congratulations. That's wonderful, Delilah. Ella, tell us what you've done. I know you've gone to Ecuador. Other experiential learning that you've undertaken?
Well, I do want to touch on Ecuador real quick because it's not just study abroad experience. It's not just like a cultural and scientific experience. We also do get to do research. We start that research process the semester before, so the fall semester last year. And me as well, two of my friends, one who's graduated now, and one who's a senior with me this year, did a project looking at trail camera activity in both Ecuador and in Virginia. So looking at differences in mammalian activity in tropic versus temperate regions. And we looked at it across like species and trophic level and nocturnal and diurnal patterns. And so that was a really cool project to work on with some great people, and really getting to present that at science seminar at the end of last year was kind of the cherry on top to a great study abroad experience. It also, we got to just see so much. We went from the Andes to the Amazon. We got to stay with an indigenous community for a few days. We learned so much. My Spanish, or lack thereof, was really put to the test. But everyone was so accommodating, and really great people that we got to stay with and work with. We have a partner down there who is a friend of Renee Goddard. Her son grew up with him, Alex Bentley, and he and his now wife, DNA, really they have a travel company that they run out of their home in Mera, Ecuador, I believe. But they were the ones who really take us through everything. And it was, I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. But on top of that kind of experiential learning, a lot of what I've been able to do with the film department, we are a like very well supplied department when it comes to equipment. And in my sophomore year, I took a class called directing, and it was all of us, like I want to say it was like 6 of us. We directed a short series, basically, a limited series, and so we all got to have the experience of being a director, being a writer, being an assistant director, being a cameraman, being a sound operator. So we all got to experience that with real equipment that we would use in the professional workplace. Additionally, we also have a very well supplied biology and environmental sciences department. So we actually just finished up today the like physical, like data collection part of a lab that's actually jumping off of some research that Dr. Carmichael started a few years ago with some of her colleagues from her postdoctoral research. So we're kind of seeing if we can build on that, or find out anything to contribute to that. So being able to have professors there that want our help and our ideas, and to share their own like experience and expertise with us has been great. I also did a internship in New York my sophomore year J term, and got to work with some alums actually that worked for this what is it called technically? It's Women's Film Network that connects women in the film industry with each other. So whether that's actors, directors, writers, whatever. And I helped put on their annual short film festival. So that was really fun. It was virtual because it was still on the tail end of COVID, but it was still, I got to work with a lot of really cool people in the industry. And I even got to be a production assistant on an Apple commercial. So working on an actual professional set, doing a lot of stuff like that. So all of the experiential learning at Hollins has been invaluable to me, and it's been amazing.
I love that. I am going to, and I know we're 2 minutes over, I'm going to wrap up. But while I'm wrapping up, I just want to encourage the students to scroll through the chat. Lots of kudos to you all. Lots of love in the chat for each of you. Some referrals of folks you should talk to. So I'm going to ask Ella, Georgia, Delilah, and Sophia to look at the chat. I'm going to ask everyone to join me in thanking our amazing students for spending this evening with us. They are amazing, and I am so honored to be their president. I hope as we close this evening that you learned something new about Hollins, that you feel excited about what's happening at Hollins. Most of all, I hope that you see that we are truly transforming learning and transforming lives at Hollins. And we are doing that because we are very intentional in all that we undertake. At Hollins this year, we live with intention. The intention to open our minds to new knowledge and perspectives, the intention to welcome the new and the unknown, the intention to be conveyors, conveners, and conduits of hope, the intention to embrace transformation, even if it cost us certainty and comfort, the intention to live with gratitude, not despite what's happening in the world around us, but because of what's happening in the world around us, the intention to find joy because we are alive and in this community, the intention to surrender to our purpose in this life, and most importantly at Hollins, we are living with the intention to love one another. We are so grateful for the time you shared with us this evening. I wish you a wonderful season of gratitude, hope, and light. And as always, Levavi Oculos. Thank you.